And you can't say that to teams. Don't trade for my client. He's not going to play hard for you, or he's not going to show up. Certainly, that was at the crux of this. It was not about trade request itself. Remember, the team gave a statement shortly after Damian Lillard's trade request, acknowledged that he had asked for a trade. That's why Lillard's agent and Lillard didn't get fined for talking publicly about wanting to only play in Miami.
Well, be vaccinated or stay home. That is the ultimatum from the Brooklyn Nets to star player, this man, Kyrie Irving. Irving cannot play or practice with the team until he gets his COVID shot.
If you like basketball content, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, turn on post notifications, all that. We building a community and we're on the road to 2,000 subscribers, so come on, don't be stingy. Join the family, subscribe, and let me know what you think about the topic in the comments, and enjoy the video. In 2019, LeBron had already emerged as the best player in the world, averaging 30 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists while playing some of the best defense in the world. He was on the way to becoming an all-time great, but he was missing one thing, that dreaded championship. So what did LeBron decide to do? He recruited Chris Bosh and joined Dwayne Wade and created a super team. This is what many consider the start of the player empowerment era. There is no direct definition, but I can explain it like this. Player empowerment is simple. It's basically superstar entitlement. Ever since LeBron James left Cleveland and created a super team, players have had more control over their franchise decisions and all things of that nature. But unfortunately, player empowerment has gone too far. Nowadays, we have players personally deciding to not play if their desires are not met. Player empowerment has caused players to start to think that they are invincible. They are starting to feel like they work for themselves and can do what they want. It's like since they are celebrities, they are wanting to take after the roles of rappers and actors who have more personal freedom. Hence, Ja Morant thinks it's okay to act thuggish and flash guns. But NBA players work for a company. They work for the NBA. This is a regular job like the rest of us all have. Now, of course, they have a little bit more freedom than your average 9-to-5 worker, but it's still starting to get too far. This video was sparked because of Damian Lillard. About a month ago, Damian Lillard requested a trade, which is okay. He's been there since 2012 and was never able to win, and he wants to win. But the way he is going about it is so wrong. But we're going to get back to that. Let's talk about the history of player empowerment. So obviously, player empowerment is attributed to LeBron James, but I don't think his way of leaving Cleveland was bad. He left in free agency. Free agency has been around since 1976. Everybody has been able to sign wherever they want once their contract is up. Same thing for Kevin Durant. Yes, he built a super team. Yes, he left, but it was in free agency. He didn't force his way out of OKC. He gave OKC everything that he had and still couldn't win over there. But I think player empowerment took a really bad turn in 2018. Where many people speculated that Kawhi Leonard was purposely sitting out to try and force his way out of San Antonio. If you want to know more about that, check out my video on Kawhi Leonard. When a player is under contract and they're deciding not to play, that's when it becomes a different story. We've seen things like this before, like how Kyrie Irving in 2021 completely chose not to play because he was scared of the vaccine, or in these past couple of years where Ben Simmons has completely chosen not to play because he's scared to get on the court, or when James Harden forces his way out of Houston by gaining weight and not being in NBA shape. That boy be hanging out with Lil Baby too much. Actions like this are so detrimental to franchises. These franchises are basically giving these players generational wealth. And this brings me back to the Dame situation. Dame requested a trade. As we all know, he only wants to play for the Miami Heat. And it got so serious that apparently his team sent out a memo to the other 28 other teams that if he were to get traded to those teams, that he wouldn't play. I find that very hard to believe. That's not the type of person Damian Lillard is. Maybe his team said that, but Dame never said it specifically himself. But the fact that that's even a possible thought or idea in somebody's head is what's wrong with the league today. People love to argue that Dame has done everything for Portland and is only right by Portland to give them what he wants. Damian Lillard is on a $200 million contract. Portland did right by him by giving him all that money. And building a championship team in the NBA is so hard. People don't understand how hard it is to win a championship. Dame is a special talent, but as a small guard, it's tough. Look back at all the NBA champions in NBA history and tell me how many times the best player on the team was a small guard, other than Steph Curry, because he's an anomaly. He's the greatest shooter of all time. His gravity is crazy, but we already knew that. Outside of him, you could say dudes like Chauncey Billups, but that was more of an all-around type of team. Tony Parker has a Finals MVP, but Tim Duncan was the best player on those teams. The next carry job we've seen from a small guard is Dwayne Wade. And then you have to go back to the 80s and look at a dude like Isaiah Thomas. But outside of that, you don't see it often. Point guard is the most important position for a team, but it's the most difficult position to win with at the same time. And Dame isn't too much helping the situation himself either. In 2018 against the New Orleans Pelicans, Damian Lillard averaged 18.5 points on 35% from the field and 30% from 3 and got swept. In the 2019 playoffs, he was able to make it to the Western Conference Finals, but in those 4 games, he averaged 22 points on 37% from the field and 36% from 3 again and got swept again. The year after that, 24 points, 40% from the field, 39% from 3. I get it. Those Portland Trailblazer teams weren't as good as he ran into the Warriors, the Nuggets, and the Lakers, but if you feel like you're so good and you can only request a trade to one team, you have to play in the playoffs like you're actually worth that. Especially when they gave you $200 million. The NBA is a business, and the Trailblazers do not want Tyler Hero and Kyle Lowry. I'm sorry, that's just how it is. The NBA has to do something about this player empowerment movement going too far. I think suspending John Morant without pay is one step, but that's kind of a whole different situation. If a player is deciding not to play for a reason that's not injury or family emergency, there should be consequences. That's the same thing as not showing up to work. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on player empowerment, if Damian Lillard is going too far, and what needs to be done to stop this player empowerment movement. Thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure you like, comment, turn on post notifications, subscribe, all that. We're building a family and we're building a community, and we're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Thank y'all so much, man. I'm out. Peace.